Namaste. Thank you for joining me for this yoga flow for digestion. So if you're experiencing bloating, gas, stomach pains, constipation, those can be really disruptive and frustrating and can cause a lot of negative emotions, which then feed into the stress and negativity and exacerbate those symptoms even more. So we're going to come in with our yoga practice and do some poses that are going to relieve those symptoms, and then hopefully also relieve some of that stress so that we don't get the symptoms to begin with. So all of these poses are designed for opening up space in the stomach, for twisting our body into different positions, for allowing the organs to get the love they need to have healthy digestion, and hopefully you get some comfort. So when you're ready, join me on your mat in a comfortable seated position. Let's close our eyes and just come into our breathing. The breath is the biggest tool when it comes to these poses and digestion. It's going to work from the inside to massage your organs. So we want to focus a lot of attention on it. So right now, let's try to do some deep belly breathing. Breathing deep into our belly, expanding our abdomen like a balloon on every inhale, and allowing it to deflate on the exhales. Inhale, rising the belly out, and exhale, deflate the belly. Let's bend the elbows, bring the palms into the heart center, and start with a mantra of 3 ohms, 3 shantis, allowing yourself to feel the vibration throughout the body on the ohms. So on your next inhale, inhale for Om. Rub your palms together, place the palms over the eyes, blink the eyes open, and release the palms. And join me on your mat in Balasana, child's pose. We're gonna do an extended child's pose, so bring the toes together, knees wide apart for your torso to fit in between, and extend the arms in front. If your chin doesn't reach the ground, you can use a block and place it under your forehead for some support. And just feel the space for the abdomen. Breathing, remembering those deep belly breaths throughout this whole practice. The poses are great for moving our intestines around, but it's really the breath that's going to do the work from the inside. And in all these poses, I'm going to be holding them for a few breaths, but if a certain pose is connecting with you, feels good, you want to stay in it longer, please go ahead. Sometimes I hold these poses for minutes at a time and do what feels good to me. Let's lift our hips up and come into a puppy pose. So bringing our feet and our knees hip distance apart. Let's walk our hands forward a bit more and extend through the back, feeling length through the whole spine, out through from the tip of the head to the buttocks. If your head doesn't come to the ground, again, take the support of the block. This doesn't have to be a super deep back bend. We're being gentle today. Just trying to give our body some movements that it will enjoy and that will help us out with any of our digestive problems. After a few deep breaths there, let's come up, remove the block if you were using it, and come all the way onto our stomach. So just lying on the stomach in a prone position, I find to be super helpful and relieving at times. Having the pressure from the ground on the abdomen is really nice. If you would like some more pressure, you can take your hands, make fists by folding the thumb in and closing the fingers over the thumb, and place your fists on either side of the navel. And you'll feel how that provides more pressure into the abdomen. And as you inhale, again, deep into the belly, you can feel how it provides a bit of a massage to your internal organs. Here you can have one cheek resting on the mat, or you can be on your chin, whichever is more comfortable for you. And just breathe into this. Really nice for relieving bloating or gas. All right, from here, let's release the arms to the side into a cactus position, bend the knees, and just windshield wiper the legs back and forth. I want to do a nice combination of movements and dynamic yoga postures plus static postures, just to give our stomach options. See if we can attack any issues from all angles. From here, let's come into a bit of a deeper twist, extending our right arm to the side, push into our bent left arm, bend the left knee, and then come onto the left foot, kind of kickstanding it up beside our hips. Feeling a twist here through the abdomen, and then also a bonus shoulder stretch. This is one of my all-time favorite twists, so opening. And let's release, come back to center, take it on the other side. The left arm goes to the side, kickstand the right foot up, pushing with the right hand. Go as deep as is comfortable for you. We don't want to be causing more stress. And again, let's come back to center. Let's place both hands next to our side ribs and gently press up and forward to a low cobra pose. Extending through our front body, feeling a nice stretch on our abdomen and feeling a lot of length. Let's keep pushing forward and come into a high cobra, keeping the hips on the ground. Keep shining the chest forward. And let's come all the way up to an upward facing dog. Hips off the ground, knees off the ground. Pelvis tucked under to protect our lower spine. And let's push up and back to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Pedal it out here. Walk your dog. You can also wag your tail. And let's come walk all the way to the front of our mat. Grab opposite elbows. And just feel this nice extension through our spine. Lower the arms one vertebrae at a time. Roll yourself up to standing. So the digestive system is related to the fire element, so it requires heat for proper functioning. So we're going to do some Surya Namaskar Sun Salutation A to work on generating some internal heat that can help us with our digestion. So starting feet together in Samasthiti. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back to plank pose, lower halfway or all the way to the ground for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or low cobra pose, your choice, whatever you're feeling today. And push back to downward facing dog. Look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, rise up, palms touch. And let's go straight into round two. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose to chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, push the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Feeling our body open up, feeling the heat that we're generating. Look between the hands, step or float to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, rise up all the way. And one more sun salutation, fold all the way forward and exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale, chest comes forward, shoulders back for upward facing dog. And exhale, hips go up and back for downward facing dog. Let's catch our breath before we move on to the next set of postures. Here we're going to lift the right leg into three-legged downward facing dog. Bend the knee, crack the hip open, and do some hip circles. Feeling opening through our right torso. And let's go the other way with hip circles. And let's keep the foot, bring it all the way over to the outside of our mat for a wild thing. The right arm releases from the mat and comes overhead, feeling some stretch through our front body. Let's come back into three-legged dog and lower that right leg for downward facing dog. Let's do it on the other side. Lift left leg up, bend the knee, crack open the hip, try to keep our shoulders square, and do some hip circles. And the other way. And bringing the foot all the way over, releasing the left hand from the mat for a wild thing for one breath. And release back. Three-legged dog to downward facing dog. Let's bring our right foot in between our hands and walk our hands around so we're in this wide-legged forward fold position, Prasarita Padasvanasana. Let's place our palms on the ground. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold all the way forward. You can walk the hands back so the palms are in line with the heels if that's available to you. In this position, the chest is below the hips, so we get some effects of an inversion, which is really good for digestion, for relieving gas. It doesn't have to be your deepest forward fold ever, just go to where you're comfortable. Let's inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, bring the hands back around and step back to downward facing dog. Let's look between the hands and now step the right foot to the outside of the right hand and the left foot to the outside of the left hand the feet can be pointed out a little bit. And let's just lower our butt down to come into Malasana. Adjust your heels so it's a comfortable distance for you. Bring the hands into heart center and push on the knees with the elbows. Sometimes in Malasana, I also like to place my hands forward and round through the back. It feels super nice. Here I'm pulling my navel in to protect my lower spine. And just feeling some nice spinal extension. Let's come back to a straight spine if you are rounding. And let's lower all the way down onto our butt for some seated postures. Starting with a twist. So we are going to do Ardha Matsyendrasana. The left foot is going to come near the right glute and the right foot is going to go on the outside of the left knee. We're going to take our left hand, grab onto the left knee, and gently twist ourselves open to the right side, our right hand coming behind us. With every inhale, try to lengthen your spine, and with every exhale, try to twist a little deeper. If you'd like to go deeper into the twist, you can also take your left elbow on the outside of that right knee for some extra leverage. And just feel the effects that it has on your abdomen. Allow your breath to flow. Let's look forward, release, come back to center, and take that on the other side. So right foot goes to the left glute, left foot goes to the outside of the right knee, grab on to the left knee, and twist ourselves open to the left. Supporting ourselves with our left hand behind us. If it's available to you, you can look over your left shoulder as well, and feel free to take the knee to go deeper into the twist. Twisting is so good for digestion. It really is going to work out whatever you've got going on in your intestines. Let's come back to center. Don't quite release the legs. We're gonna go a little deeper with them. So bring the left knee now on top of the right knee for Gomukhasana. And you can either stay upright or fold into it, allowing your abdomen to rest on your thighs. And if you can't, bring your head all the way to the ground, which I imagine many people can't, including me. You can use a block to support your head. And just breathe into this forward fold, into the outer hip stretch. Feel yourself supported by your thighs and by the block. To come out of this, we're going to bring the hands over to the right side of the mat, lift up. Keep walking around, walk the hands all the way around, and the legs will magically come to the other side. Just because we're having stomach problems doesn't mean we can't have some fun. So go to where you went to on the other side, folding forward if you'd like. And when you're ready, let's inhale, rise up, and come into Vajrasana for some variations of Mandukasana. So sitting on our heels, Mandukasana is frog pose. And there's some different asanas that are referred to as frog pose. So this is one of them. It's not the hip opening one. This pose has a lot of digestive benefits. So what we're going to do is take the hands, make fists by closing the thumb and closing the fingers on top. We're going to place the fists on either side of the navel with the middle finger directly in line with the navel. And we're going to do 3 variations. So the first one, we're going to be moving dynamically with our breath. So we're going to inhale here, sitting upright, and exhale, empty your stomach and fold all the way forward over the knees. And let's do that 5 times. So inhale, sit upright, exhale, fold forward. Inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold forward. And now we're going to move into the second variation where we're going to stay down, breathing into our stomach. So inhaling and exhaling in this folded position. Feeling the breath pushing against the pressure from our fists. Breathing life into our stomach. Great, so on an inhale, we're going to rise up again, and we're going to move on to the third variation, where we're going to inhale here, exhale all the air out of our stomach, folding down, and then hold the breath outside and hold for 5 counts. So hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, and inhale, rise up all the way. Let's do that one more time. So inhale, fill the stomach. And exhale, completely empty out the stomach as you fold forward. And hold for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, rise back up. And exhale, release the hands. Now we're going to come and do some inversions, which have so many benefits, including for digestion. So starting with dolphin pose, we're going to place the forearms on the mat, tuck our toes, and lift our hips up. So we're doing downward facing dog on our forearms. Inversions are super great for relieving gas. If you think about gas movement, gases tend to rise, so having the hips over the chest is just going to help it move in that direction. Here you can lower down, and I'm going to do headstand, which, among other benefits, puts pressure on the pituitary gland, which is in charge of digestion. So it'll be really good for us. If you have a headstand practice, feel free to join me. Otherwise, you can just hold dolphin. So nice and easy. Interlocking the fingers, placing the head, and gently rising up. And gently bend the knees, lower down slowly. Keep our head on the ground and come into Balasana, child's pose, arms by your side. Gently pressing our forehead into the mat. After a few breaths, let's roll ourselves up and come to lying on our back for bridge pose. So feet come close to the hips, arms by our side, tuck our tailbone, push into the feet, and lift our butt off the ground. Breathe here for a few breaths. Don't let your chin tuck too much into your chest. Keep space. On an exhale, lower down. On an inhale, lift back up. Seeing our belly rise and fall. And lower down. And if you want, you can do another bridge pose, or you can join me for one round of Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow, placing the hands next to our shoulders, pressing into our feet, lifting up our butt, lifting up our whole body to come into this back bend. It's going to be a lot of stretch in our front body, really opening up the stomach. And on an exhale, tuck the chin, gently lower down, and hug the knees into the chest. Gently rock side to side, releasing through the lower back. And now we're going to come into a supine forward fold, Supta Paschimottanasana. So we're going to straighten up the legs and allow the feet to fall towards the ground behind us. Here we aren't going all the way back like a halasana, which would be all the way over onto our upper back like this, feet on the ground. We're keeping the feet up and we're keeping our middle back on the ground. So we're nice and supported with our middle back and our upper back. Our butt can be off the ground. Feeling this forward fold. It's also a little bit of an inversion. Let's bend the knees and come into Uttanasana, also called wind relieving pose, I believe. So sounds good to me. Gently hugging our knees into our chest. Let's bring this into a supine twist. So we're releasing our left arm onto the ground. Let our legs fall over to the right side. If you want a deeper twist, you can bring the left knee, cross it on top of the right. And breathing into our twisted stomach. Massaging the organs, relieving some of our discomfort, hopefully. Let's come back to center and take that twist on the other side. Again, if you want to cross the right knee on top of the left. And let's come back to center and come into happy baby. So bending the knees, grabbing onto the outside of the feet, pulling the feet toward the ground, trying to keep our whole back on the ground, and breathing here. And now, before we finish up our practice, let's come to seated and just do a bit of a meditation on our Manipura chakra, which is the navel or solar plexus chakra that's responsible for digestion. So we want to give it lots of love and energy to help it out. So we're going to make a fist with our left hand, folding the thumb in, closing the fingers. Place the right hand on top of that fist and place both hands at the navel. Let's close our eyes and return to our conscious deep belly breathing. Feeling our stomach pushing our hands out on the inhales and feeling it deflate on the exhales. We're going to imagine a bright yellow color that's emanating from our navel. Really focus on the yellow that is there in our stomach. And now notice that that yellow is actually a bright yellow flame that is growing as we inhale and shrinking as we exhale. Inhale, allow the flame to grow and brighten. And exhale, feel it wither away as our stomach deflates. Inhale, the stomach and the flame grow and expand. Exhale, let them deflate. Take a few more breaths with your own time, focusing our energy on the movement of the stomach and focusing our mind on the image of the bright yellow candle, the bright yellow flame. After your last exhale, let's gently remove the hands, softly blink the eyes open, and come back to our mats for Shavasana. You can take a traditional Shavasana, or what I'm going to do is take a supported Supta Baddha Konasana, a supported lying down butterfly pose. So I'm going to place a block on my mat and lay down with my middle back folding over the block. My shoulders on the ground and my hips on the ground. Keeping my feet together and opening my knees out to the side for butterfly pose. Placing my arms by my side and finding stillness. Feeling the deep relaxation that comes from this supported position and that comes from the deep belly breathing. Activating our parasympathetic nervous system and allowing our sympathetic nervous system to have a bit of a break. Feel free to stay here for as long as you like. When you're ready, softly bring movement to your fingertips and your toes, waking yourself up from Shavasana. Take your arms overhead for a deep morning stretch. Use your hands to gently bring your knees back together. You can sit up, remove the block, and come to a seated position. Let's bring our hands to our heart center. Gently bow our head to our hearts, giving ourselves gratitude for being kind to ourselves today and giving ourselves this lovely practice. Gratitude to our practice and gratitude to the universe. Let's close this practice with 1 Om and 3 Shantis. So on your next inhale, inhale for Om. Softly rub your palms together, creating heat, creating energy. Bring the palms over the closed eyes. Softly blink open the eyes and release the palms. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you enjoyed. I hope it helped you. If there are any poses that you liked or that helped you in particular, feel free to do them any time of day, whenever you need a little bit of love for your stomach. If your stomach still needs more love, might I suggest a digestive walk? Really get those digestive fires going and move around those intestines. I hope that this helps. Namaste.